without going too much into that, the fundamental reason for all of that is that, again, comes back to the emotional development. Because you remember how much I was emphasizing on a root, on a foundation in the child period, during the infancy in a child. The love that one receives during that time, one of the important aspects of that is a confidence. And maybe a better explanation of it is self-worth.
Trust, even, is a big one.
Yeah.
As a child. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, yes.
I do exist. I am good. I matter. I'm not better or worse than anybody else. These are the natural consequences of having a right foundation, true roots. And it's funny, it comes during that first 4, 5, 6 years that there is no intellect or whatever, ration or anything, that is all emotional. Everything is emotional at that time. So it's really a responsibility of the parents. The love that comes from the parents has to be genuine and true. The direction that comes has to be genuine and true. The discipline, everything has to be like that. So this is the most crucial aspect of our lives, the period of our lives. Now, since I have suffered from that without anybody's fault, and through my relationship and conversation with so many people through my life, I realized that this is a common lack in humanity, basically. The reason that I said it's nobody's fault, because if you want to say, okay, what happened to me is my parents' fault, I promise you, if you have the eye to see your parents' lives, then you see, no, it's not their fault, it's their parents' fault. And then if you look through their parents' life, and so you can go as deep as you want, it's nobody's fault.
Yes.
So we better stop pointing finger.
Or else you never address what you need to
What
work
needs
on.
to be addressed.
What needs to be addressed.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Which even what you say is all true. You can analyze the whole thing. This happened, so therefore I'm. This happened, therefore I'm like this. That okay. But now that's all true. Let's look at the solution.
Yes.
The solution is that the heart needs to grow. Because the problem is the heart didn't grow. We have advanced so much intellectually, scientifically, technologically, and whatever else. We advanced a lot.
Yes.
But the only area we really didn't advance, and we can just look at the world today, yesterday, last week, last month, 10, 50, 100, 1,000 years ago, doesn't matter when in human history we want to look. It has always been the same. Our problems has always been emotional.
I have a question. You mentioned earlier that all the relationships are emotional. Did you say that?
I said that the most important aspects of relationship is
the most
emotional.
and that applies to every kind of relationship.
Absolutely.
So even like in a business transaction, the most important aspect is the emotional. How does that relate to the hard topic that we are talking about now?
It's like if I go to a customer's house, first of all, maybe there's a business transaction that's supposed to happen there. That's fine. If the customer is a male, from an artistic perspective, our relationship, the energy of our relationship is whether that of brothers or father-son or vice versa, father-son. And this will develop throughout the course of conversation. Now, of course, we focus on our business transaction and what needs to be done, the meeting going on and all that. But again, like the person you sit next to in the bus, why not actually dealing with your brother or sister or father or mother or son or daughter, and ideally even vice versa? They actually come to the awareness that this is actually the life, because that's really when we are alive. Why? Because if the most important aspect of this time period that we live in called life is to develop our hearts, and every moment that we miss developing our heart, we're actually not participating in life. So to be alive, to participate in life, to gain experience from life and to grow, we need to be in an emotional relationship of the heart with each other. So you're with one of your clients, and if it's the same age, for example, your initial, you just go open the door, you respect the house as your own house. You go in and then you shake the hand of the brother or a father or a mother or sister or son or daughter, and you sit down, you with that heart present whatever it is you want to give and do. When you do that, not only it goes far better, the trust is established there, because inside of us we all have the same heart. And the moment that you actually go with that heart, you somehow ignite the heart of a person that sometimes might have not been ignited for years. It's almost like a breath of fresh air. So then it puts them at ease. It makes them comfortable. That because they can feel. Maybe initially they're a little bit suspicious, are you pretending, or why are you so nice, or whatever. Because it's a little bit unusual in our world today, because people go and have hours of business transactions and so on, completely cold emotionally.
Or you have brothers and sisters who don't have brother-sister relationship. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are even meetings that people go, both of them have already a bad intentions towards each other. They want to go and do some kind of deal. So imagine, these are not worth living. These are like focusing on something that really doesn't matter.
Something came to mind when you just mentioned that the business there's a business transaction, and as you were speaking to your dad, I thought, when you're armed with the understanding of knowing what the realms of the heart are, and who you are really, essentially, that's when it comes full circle. In a business transaction, when you're with your customer or client, you automatically will know where that person is, because you're full. You've developed those realms of the heart. So you'll know at that moment what that person needs from you. And so how you present the information is based on where that person is. Is that true, your
Exactly.
dad? Yes.
And that comes to the conversation we had the other night. The main motivation becomes service.
Yes. Yes.
In other words, in a spiritual way, they say living for the sake of others.
Yes.
And it all automatically works. It's all part of living in the heart. And then all these things are, you don't need to be aware of, am I serving this person? Am I living for the sake of someone? No. I promise you, once you're actually living in the heart and connecting emotionally with that person, these things are automatic. Because heart is our very essence. Remember at the beginning, I love you with all my heart. All my heart. This is really, really important. I'm emphasizing this, repeating it over and over, because I want you somehow to remember in the next days and weeks and so on, when suddenly anytime you hear the word heart, it brings much, much deeper awareness of the vastness of this thing called heart. It's not something.
What you also meant was that next week when we see each other, that at least to ourselves we are saying to that person that we love them with all our heart, no matter who they are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Question.
Yeah.
So the viewer knows the realms of the heart. What are the layers? If you can just mention a layer, the 4 layers, I think there
But these are just comes with the natural process of our aging, because the first experiences that we have is when we are a child.
Yes.
We are as an infant. So the love, then the attention and energy that we get as a child. So that's the first, that's a root, that's a foundation. And the next one, which is built upon that, is the experience, emotional experiences that we have with our friends and siblings.
So brother and sister, you're establishing, or
Yeah.
sister to sister.
Sister, sister, brother, 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 sisters. The dynamics of that siblings
Yes.
relationship.
Yes. So in the first layer, the child layer, the parents are learning to, well, it's the parent to child relationship, it's also the child to parent relationship. So it's 2 layers for each level. Is that so?
Yeah, yes. At the very, very beginning, the relationship between the parent to the child ideally is a unconditional caring and giving. The things that goes in the heart of a child at that moment towards the parents from the moment of waking up is actually not so easy to know. Because I believe that actually from the moment of birth, the first thing they used to like bring the child to the mother, and the mother start feeding the child. How does the child feel? Is divine, is precious, And I don't know any one of us can go that far back in our memories to realize, to remember what that is. But I believe is the most beautiful thing of all. And then as we grow, the child does not have any reference point. Reference point for a child are parents. Parents are the standard of reference. Parents are the standard of everything. In other words, parents are God. So child relationship to parents is one of the most beautiful relationships of all. Is absolutely innocent, 100% trusting. So because therefore it's so fragile. And they don't do that based on logic. They don't do that based on a plan to gain something. It's just a natural heart of a child. Because it's so fragile, because it's so innocent, it has to be dealt with the ultimate sensitivity and care because it breaks so easily. Imagine a child. Now, imagine people in our age. This heart that is, we even explain people or trying to describe people through heart. We can say that a brave heart or a weak heart. Even a brave heart, even people the heart is a very strong, powerful thing, but at the same time is the most fragile thing of all because one word can break it. Just one word. Imagine a single word. That's how sensitive heart is. At our age, imagine the child. All it is a heart. So it's the most fragile time. It's almost like it's shaping up. It's just like a little seed is growing up. The gardener has to be very careful. Make sure that if fence is needed around, make sure there's going astray, have enough water, have enough light, have enough nourishment, have enough guidance, has enough love.
The other night when you brought up this point, I also for the first time started to think of it in a slightly different way. You mentioned just now the love of the gardener. The love of the parents toward that child is so natural, correct? You don't force yourself to take care of your baby. It's just like the design is such that the timing is perfect. Maybe 20 years ago, later the relationship could be a little bit different. You could be even upset at the child because of what they do or don't do. But at that moment, when they're that baby, your giving is unconditional. It's just like you are programmed like that's what you will do.
Ideally, yeah.
Ideally,
Yeah.
yeah.
At least it should be like that. You're right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking something. You mentioned innocence.
Mm-hmm.
How wonderful is it that the child, can restore innocence in the parents?